incredible. I'm so grateful for all your help. Thank you to Peg and to Kathy and to Lena and to Nancy. Thank you. And all of the hosts for putting on this event tonight. I'm so grateful. It's a big help for our campaign. We just have 53 days. That's it. And so your investment today helps us win. And we can't do it without you. So thank you. My name is Lauren Underwood. I'm a 31-year-old nurse from Naperville, a community 45 minutes west of here. And I've spent my career working to expand healthcare coverage in communities across our country. First, by working to implement the Affordable Care Act at the federal level. Worked on private insurance reform, healthcare quality in the Medicare program, worked on preventive services, those free screenings and vaccines and contraceptive coverage, and then joined the Obama administration where I worked on public health emergencies and disasters. Things like Ebola and Zika and the water crisis in Flint. And it was during our time in Flint that the 2016 election happened. And like so many, I thought that we'd have a chance to hand off our work on Flint and hand off our work on health reform to a team that cared and wanted to continue forward that progress. And instead we got the Trump team, who made it immediately clear that they wanted to take away health care coverage from the American people. And that's not why I became a nurse or did any of this work, and so I knew I could not stay in government and help them do that. And so I decided to return home to Illinois, a state that expanded Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act, and I began working for a Medicaid managed care company in Chicago. When I found myself at Randy Hultgren's one and only public event of 2017. And it was a moderated question and answer session hosted by our local chapter of the League of Women Voters. And that night he made a promise. He said he was only going to support a version of Obamacare repeal that let people with pre-existing conditions keep their health care coverage. And as a nurse, that kind of promise was really important to me because I'm taking care of patients who rely on it in order to afford any medications and procedures that they may need in order to manage a chronic illness. And then in working on the Affordable Care Act, I read the law, I know that it works, and we can fix what doesn't work. We don't have to throw the whole thing away. And like so many Americans, I have a pre-existing condition myself. It's a heart condition, and it's well controlled, but it's one of these diagnoses where I wouldn't be able to get coverage under the repeal scenarios. So when Randy Hultgren made that promise, I believed him because it was personal. And then he went and voted for the American Health Care Act, which is the version of repeal that did the opposite. Made it cost prohibitive for people like me to be able to get insurance coverage. And I was really upset because I believe that representatives should be transparent and honest about their votes. They should be accessible to the community and ultimately know that they're accountable to us, the voters. And he didn't seem to recognize any of that, so I decided, you know what, it's on. I'm running. And I launched the campaign. I launched the campaign a year ago in August, ended up running in our primary against 6 guys. It was very competitive, but I won in March. I got 57% of the vote. And now we're challenging Hultgren directly, and listen, we are giving him a run for his money. We have outraised him all year. For the last 2 consecutive quarters, we've outraised him by over $150,000. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your help in doing that. We have literally scared him out of hiding. So it has been 16 months since our representative showed up in the 14th for a public event. He had taken to doing these invitation-only telephone town halls. Like, what is that? That is not representation. And so he did a week worth of town halls in August where he got a rude awakening about the impact of his votes on our community and his awful tax plan and his votes to take away health care from 37,000 people in our district. His continued efforts to strip away resources from our excellent public schools in the 14th, and his constant loop and rhetoric around thoughts and prayers, and his complete unwillingness to act. I mean, we've had enough. And so we have 53 days to do the work together in these 7 counties of the 14th district in order to flip this seat. Now let's do a quick geography check. The 14th goes from the Wisconsin border in McHenry County and Lake County. So 6 Flags is in our district. Okay? Then we go out west to Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, and then south to Shorewood, which is near Joliet. 7 counties, half suburban, half rural. This is a seat that Donald Trump got 49% of the vote, Hillary Clinton got 45%. And with that 45%, she outperformed Obama in 12. Obviously, Obama won in 2008. This is a classic swing community. And we did some polling over the summer. And here's where we're at. We're in the margin of error. Okay, so I'm at 40. Holker's at 44. When we educate voters on our background and experience, I jump up to 48%. He drops down to 37. And when the undecideds are asked to make a decision, I get to 51. So we know that there's a pathway forward. But it depends on educating the voters, right? Getting out there and having these conversations in living rooms all across our district. And so I'm so excited. We just launched our first television ad, and you can see it here in the city because guess what? The 14th is in the Chicago media market. So keep your eye out on MSNBC and CNN and Food Network and Hallmark and all these cable channels because you might see some familiar faces. And then later in the month, we'll get up on broadcast. But I want to go back to these conversations in the living rooms in our district. We've had farmers tell us that no Democrat has knocked on their door in 10 years. No Democrat, not congressional, but at any level. That means we have work to do. And so we're counting on folks like you to help join our volunteer army to go to these small towns, the Newark, Illinois, and the Minooka, Illinois, to help us have these conversations. So we have some sign-up sheets over on the table if you're willing to give just 4 hours over the next 53 days to help save our democracy, help us reclaim the majority, and help restore real representation for the people of the 14th district. So thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for all of your help. And I think that we can do a few questions. Is that? If y'all have questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you so much. The regular Democratic Party. Okay, the question is, yes, how's the Democratic Party helping? So I'm one of the candidates in a program called Red to Blue, which is the Tier 1 list of competitive races in the country by the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, or DCCC. That's the arm of the National Democratic Party that works with congressional candidates. So we got added to Red to Blue the day after our primary election. And since that time, they've helped. They've come to our office, they've helped us recruit staff, they've helped train our staff. They have, done like webinars and things like that. They are not like paying for a lot of things. I know that in this room, there's likely some Democratic Party donors. And I will just say that Red to Blue is not Red to Blue, is not Red to Blue, right? So each of us, there's 4 competitive races in our state. Right? There's us in the 14th. We're trying to boot Peter Roscom and support my friend Sean Caston, right? I am such a fan of my friend, Betsy Dirksen-Lime, again, down in the Illinois 13, running against Rodney Davis, who's awesome. And then Brendan Kelly downstate, running against Mike Botts. Okay, so there's 4 opportunities to flip the seat. I will say that, some are more resourced and some are better supported by the party than others. So if any of you are strong Dem donors and you like to call your friends at the party and urge them to invest in our race, that would be welcome. Thank you. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Would you support Nancy Pelosi if you're elected?
Okay, so the question is about Pelosi. So this is so crazy. We get this question either when I'm not in the district, at things like this, everybody wants to know, or reporters call me every 2 weeks asking. But literally, it never comes up at home, ever. And so I just want to say that to begin with. People at home want to talk about what's going on in our schools. We've just done back to school, right? People at home want to talk about how expensive their prescription drugs are, right? These really critical pocketbook issues. Now, When the reporters call me or when folks like you ask this question, this is what I say. I haven't made up my mind. And it's so true. We only know that Pelosi is running. We don't know who else is running. And we know that there is a vacancy in leadership. And so in the majority, there is going to be some races in the leadership. And so, we'll see who runs. I'll also say this. I'm only interested in supporting someone who is going to move forward an agenda that helps families across Northern Illinois. We have a commitment that they are going to have an agenda that allows for real health care reform, that allows for investments to improve our local economy, including infrastructure packages, things like that. So I'm looking for some assurances before I would cast my vote, and would only be voting for someone who's looking out for families across our country. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Especially unions in the healthcare sector.
Okay, so the question was my support for unions, and especially unions in the healthcare sector. So I'm someone that believes that workers have rights to collectively bargain, and I'm also someone that believes when we have strong unions, we have a strong middle class. And so I've been really honored to have the opportunity to stand with and work with our labor organizations across the 14th district. And I've been so grateful to have their support in the race. So we've been endorsed by the AFL-CIO, the Teamsters, the SMART union, which is the sheet metal workers, but locally they're the metro conductors. And they are awesome because we need commuter rail in 2 of our counties, and so we're already making plans on how to work together to expand metro. And in the healthcare sector especially, we know, right, that our workers are often not given fair patient loans. There's a variety of different abuses in our healthcare settings. Let's fix this. I don't know what she said. Okay, great. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
What have you been doing to prepare yourself to deal with questions of foreign policy and trade?
So the question is, what have I been doing to prepare myself for questions about international policy, foreign relations, things like that? So I read a lot, and you have to read. Unfortunately, our president doesn't do so much of that, and I think that that's part of the reason that we find ourselves in this current situation. I'm also someone that believes that foreign policy should not be made on Twitter. Maybe, I have some friends and like-minded people in the room. I will also say that I'm someone that very deeply believes in the value of diplomacy and investing in our foreign service officers and making sure we have a very strong State Department. So we have some, folks in the network who are available as resources as things happen. But generally, I try to speak from how I feel on issues. I'm not afraid to say I don't know, and I don't know about a lot of things. But I know what's right and wrong, and I believe that America has been and should continue to be a world leader. And we have a responsibility to, folks who are being oppressed and mistreated, to intervene in the face of evil and harm, and I let that be the moral compass and guide my actions. Thank you. Okay, one more. So I read these two. Okay, your questions, sir, and then I'll answer them together.
Are you having any debates with your opponent?
Okay, great. Debates, yes.
When you're elected to Congress,
Yes.
what committees do you want to be on?
Okay, debates and which committees do I want to be on? So we being my opponent and I, sat together with the Chicago Tribune editorial board at the end of August. He refused to allow that conversation to be live streamed. It's unacceptable. What does he have to hide? We should have a forum to have public conversations. It's really important. And he has continued to decline or just not show up to forums that have been scheduled. So earlier this week, the League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan organization that just wants to offer voters information, he didn't show up, right? It's unacceptable. There is one event that's scheduled in a private retirement community where the public is not allowed to come in. And we will be there together in August, and that's the only thing he's agreed to do. It's unacceptable. So I don't know if there'll be a debate. I'm certainly going to continue to show up. I don't know if he will. Now, your question about the committees. I'm a nurse, and I think that we have a lot of work to do to fix our healthcare system. There are 3 committees in the House with healthcare jurisdiction: Ways and Means, Education and Labor, and Energy and Commerce. These are apparently considered A committees, and so I'm just learning about this, but apparently it's not common for freshmen to be able to join those committees, which is okay. So if I'm on, the ad subcommittee on pork production, we will find a way to make that effective, right, and show some results for the people of the 14th district. But I would like to be on one of the healthcare committees. Okay, so thank you all so much. I'm so grateful for your help. Seriously, I'm going to reiterate the ask. Please sign up to join us. We have some of the hosts who are going to be here with additional, I think, comments about volunteering and about giving to help us flip the house, because we can't do it without you. So thank you all, and I'll turn it over to